I have one story for you today, and the title is Blackmailed. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this story is crazy. Let's jump right into it. I'm about to tell you something that I've not told anyone before until recently when I was forced to. The circumstances were such that my own blood betrayed me, even though we share a father. She used me to get what she wanted: money. But in the end, it was her love for money that got her in more trouble than I was in, and ultimately led her to losing all she had. I have a half-sister from my father's marriage, and her name's Andrea. 27 female, and we've never gotten along. Because I got to spend more time with my dad growing up, since he was married to my mother, she was always jealous of me. Father tried to treat us equally, but I was always Daddy's favorite little girl, while she was not. Her mother hated me with a passion such that she did not want me to even set foot in her house. It was a difficult situation for me because Andrea's mother was my teacher when I was in high school. I hated the subject that she taught and failed it dismally because I did not want to talk to her or let her help me. She did not hesitate to embarrass me with snide little comments, occasionally here and there. By the time the year ended, I got a new teacher, and I was beyond grateful. The years after I graduated high school were some of the best because I did not have to see them. I only saw my mom and dad when I came home for holidays. It was around that time that my father's health started to deteriorate. And, unfortunately, he passed away when I was 21 before I could graduate. His funeral was one of the hardest things that I had to do, mainly because I did not tell him what I wanted to while he was alive. I thought he would be the only person to accept and love me for who I am. Once I finally came out, my own mother had vocally spoken up against queer people, warning my brother and me that if any one of us jumped into the trend of being gay or lesbian, she would rather we die than live with a gay child. That was the sort of environment where I grew up. Well, I could say the sort of family which was very homophobic. I wanted to come out and started telling people that I was lesbian, but when my dad passed away, I felt the only person who would accept me is now gone. The rest of my family was not any good. They had so much hate in their heart for so many groups of people. They acted like they were the most self-righteous people, such that if anyone in the family went away from the image that they had, they would get badly hurt or abandoned. But once I got out that environment when I went to college, I felt so much more free to be myself, and I was just building that self-confidence when the unthinkable happened and my father passed. After the mourning period had passed, we had the reading of the will. He left some money for my mom and my brother, but was me who got the most. It was a lot of money. I would not have to work for several years with it, and I could start the business I always wanted. My sister also got some money, but it was not that much, just enough to take care of herself. My relationship with her is not a good one. We really hate each other, but I did feel bad that I got more money than her. But it was my father's wish, so who was I to intervene? Once everyone else had left and I was talking to the lawyer to finalize certain details, my sister was waiting for me. And she was not looking impressed with me. She asked to talk to me as soon as we left the attorney's office, which took me by surprise since we tended to avoid each other. We sat in her car, then she began speaking. She said that she deserved more money than she got because she never got more love from mom or dad at home. I was the one who got that when he was still alive. I told her she was mad and delusional. I was not in the mood for her complaints and demands, and there's no way I'm giving her my money. Why did she even want more money when she's married to a man who was doing very well? So well, in fact, she didn't even have to work. I told her to forget about it and was making it leave when she handed me an envelope and told me it would be my best interest to look through it before I made such a hasty decision. My stomach dropped when I saw the intimate pictures she had of me and my girlfriend. But how could she know all this, and where did she get it? She told me that her mother suspected it for many years when I was in her class, but could not just out me because, well, she could lose her job. Now they both suspected that I would get more money once our father's will was read, so they just followed me to the motel I was staying at, where my girlfriends came with me. I was so stupid. I should have never let my girlfriend come with me to the funeral even though she insisted. I introduced her as a friend to the family, and we acted like nothing was going on, not knowing that people were just sitting there spying on us. I knew I had more to lose if the family and community found out about my girl. I wasn't ready to come out and have such judgment passed on me. I did not want my mother to disown me or my uncle to possibly beat me. I knew they were capable of doing it, as it meant that I was bringing shame to the family. Seeing that there's no way around it, I just agreed and let her take my entire inheritance in exchange for her keeping my little secret. Don't get me wrong, I was not passive at all in the matter. I told her that she should be careful with her own secrets as well, that someone would do to her what she's done to me. Karma. If my father knew that his daughters and we were fighting like this, he would never be able to rest in peace. But she did not care about my feelings or what it would mean for me if I was exposed before I was ready. I planned on doing it one day, and I was prepared for the hell that would come, but I just could not now. Not with my father's death still feeling so raw. So she won and got what she wanted by playing dirty. Right then, she destroyed the pictures in front of me and accompanied me as I asked the attorney to transfer everything to her, with no questions asked. Afterward, I left town without saying goodbye to anyone because I was so shaken and angry at her for using something so sensitive against me. Over the next 2 years, I came back to town occasionally to visit and for family functions. She still subtly threatened me and made me complete small tasks that she could not be bothered with. I just went along with it because I did not want to start drama, and I was scared she would go back on her word. With everything that she did or said to me, my hatred for her grew more and more, and I hoped one day she would be knocked out off the pedestal. She thought she was so perfect because she was married into one of the rich families in town. People who come from old money and had influence in this community. Ugh, her head got even bigger when she gave birth to her son about a year ago, as he was the first son of the eldest son, the heir to the family fortune. She was the envy of so many people in the community, and I could see that all the money and power were making her dizzy. Little did she know that she was about to lose it all. When her son's first birthday came, she asked me to come help her set up. I didn't want to, but I knew the power she had, so I drove down to the town the day before the party. As it was not a good time to book a hotel, I was to sleep at her house. She did not even help me or the event company that she hired for her son's birthday. All she did was order people around and make a lot of noise. So at the end of the night, my head was spinning. Before dinner, she asked me to fetch her a coat as we were going out for the night. She really thought I was her servant. So I went up to her bedroom to get Madam her coat from the huge walk-in closet. I was just looking for the coat she asked me to get when something caught my eye. A box that's been lodged into the coat rack. It fell when I took out the fur coat as it's been put there in haste. It was a beautiful box that looked expensive. I was shocked that she could be so careless with it. When I opened it, though, my jaw dropped as I saw the most beautiful diamond necklace I've ever seen. I could see that it probably cost more than my car. It was simply exquisite. I've never been one for flashy stuff, but this one was simply amazing. But it was not all, because there was a tiny piece of paper in the box as well. I read through it and felt my blood turn to ice, as I realized my sister had skeletons in her closet. It read, "Oh, there's more where it came from if you keep making me happy." It was signed MR. I knew those initials. Everyone did. But it could not be. There's no way she would be having an affair with him. She had everything she wanted, so why would she start something with him? Her greed really had no limits if she was cheating on her husband. I was not attracted to men, but even I could see that he was a catch. He did not deserve to be cheated on like that. I had to think fast, so without a plan, I took the necklace and the note, then shoved the box right where it's been. Afterward, I gave her the coat she requested, then we went out for dinner. While we were out, I kept an eye on her and noticed the text messages that made her widen her eyes, and the constant calls. I almost felt sorry for her because she was in an unfixable mess, and it would only get worse. But she did not care about my feelings when she stole my inheritance, did she? I guess it was going to be a secret for a secret. The next evening, it was my nephew's birthday party, and it was packed. Everyone whose anyone was there. Good. It would set the scene for her downfall, and I did not feel bad that she needed to be knocked down a peg or two. I wore the necklace but hid it carefully so no one could see until the right time. The right time came when Bianca, my sister's mother-in-law, who insisted that everyone call her by her first name, came over to talk to me. That was when I removed the light shawl that came with my dress, saying that it was awfully hot. I knew her eyes would go directly to my necklace when I did that, and I was not disappointed. "Hey, that's a nice necklace, where'd you get it?" is what she asked me. She tried to act unbothered, but I could see that she was very bothered and wanted to say something. I quickly laughed and said, "Oh, this? My sister gave it to me. She said it was a gift from her father-in-law." Her face quickly changed into one of fury, and she asked for me to take the necklace off. I acted dumb until she raised her voice and everyone looked at me. That's when my sister came to check out what was happening, and she saw the necklace on me. I did not even have to make any accusations. She blurted the truth out on her own when she started begging her mother-in-law for forgiveness, saying she would never sleep with her husband again. You heard right. My sister's secret was that she was sleeping with her father-in-law. That necklace had been a gift from him. That had been my guess. I could have been wrong, and the initials might have belonged to someone else, but I had it spot on. The scene that followed was very violent as, respectable, Bianca slapped my sister. No one could stop her as she swore and beat my sister up for messing with her husband. The husband was just watching from the sideline, looking scared as heck. Some people managed to separate them, and Bianca grabbed her husband when they went back home. Of course, they did not divorce, since in most cases, the women fight with the mistress. However, Andrea got the most punishment out of everyone involved. In front of all the guests, her husband told her to pack all her rags and leave. It was so satisfying to watch her walk out with her mother in tow, looking so embarrassed. And since she married into a wealthy family, they destroyed her reputation in town. She was divorced with no custody of her child, and back at her mother's house. She did it all to herself when she chose to be greedy, and she thought that she could betray one of the most ruthless women in town. Our family was not impressed, and they made sure that she was crying her eyes out by the end of the meeting. I took that opportunity while everyone was gathered to tell the whole truth. If they wanted to throw me out of the family, right then they would, but I wanted to be free. I could not keep living that anymore, so I told them that she stolen my inheritance from me in exchange for keeping the secret that I have a girlfriend. Well, the reactions were as I expected, a mixture of shock and anger. One of my uncles called me an abomination, and one was about to strike me, but my mother stood in his path and said, "Not my daughter." I was not expecting her, of all people, to defend me, especially after she said several years ago. She told my brother to take me away so they could talk. I listened as they argued nonstop, feeling the knot in my stomach get worse by the minute. I decided to do it now before she revealed it to spite me, as I knew she was thinking of doing it. She knew I was the one who leaked her dirty little secret. My brother eventually talked to me for the first time since I revealed my secret. He asked me why I just did not tell him. It would not change the fact that I was the best older sister. At 15, he was kinder and wiser than most of the brutes who were my uncles. Having his and my mother's support was all I needed. The rest simply just did not matter. My mother told me that they would need some time, but I was not thrown out of the family. They understood that their alienating led to my sister abusing her power, and for that, they appeared to be sorry. My mom was right, and time was all they needed. Eventually, more of them started talking to me and stopped treating me like I had a disease. There's a long way to go, but at least I was not thrown out of the family or attacked. I guess it's baby steps from now on. As for my sister, she's lost everything in life, and she still blames me. But she did it to herself. No one else did it. I have an exciting surprise to tell you guys today. Well, actually, let me show you. Have you ever been at work, and the lunch thief strikes again from the fridge? Or had that stupid coworker make you miss another deadline? Or even the nerve of someone else getting a promotion instead of you? Well, don't feel bad. This happens to a lot of people. So many, in fact, that Mr. Reddito is launching his third channel on the brand. And today I present you with Mr. Reddito Office Drama, a complete daily adventure with some of the most gossip-rich drama that happens at the daily workplace. This is not something you'll want to miss. Make sure to press the link below and subscribe to Mr. Reddito's brand new channel, and I'll see you there. I'm so glad how this one ended. I thought it was actually a genius play to wear the necklace to the big party. Let me know what you would have done differently if you were in OP's position. Drop your comments or even a similar situation if you've ever been in something like that. Thank you guys for joining today's video. I hope you have an amazing day. Don't forget to press that subscribe button. And just so you know, there's 3 channels now. Mr. Reddito Animated, Mr. Reddito Stories, and Mr. Reddito Office Dramas. Every single one of those has daily videos, and you can check it all out in the description below with direct links to each channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I want you to have a wonderful day.